Welcome back to Cashman's Garage. I'm Justin, and today we're doing part 2 of our 06 GTO LS2 head gasket project. And we're pretty much ready to go here. We got the block all cleaned up, we have the heads all cleaned up, and at this point it's just a matter of taking off the harmonic balancer, taking off the timing cover, getting this oil pump and cam out. Then we're going to pull the lifters, and then we're going to start reassembling all of this. We got new valve springs, we got new stem seals, we got new push rods, we got new head gaskets, whole bunch of different stuff. It's going to be a great time. Let's continue on.
What else is there to see? What else to do? I'm not sure how I feel, but neither do you. What else like to see? Oh, it's the place to be. It makes you blink, it makes you think, how can this be real? Oh wait, let's wonder, the flightless thunder. Is this where I'm supposed to be? A thoughtless future, the sound of asunder. Sure as hell feels right to me. 95, get fucked right off and die. I wanna live my life and take back all that's mine. No, I can't tell what it is, but it makes me feel alive.
So here we have it, guys. We have the timing cover off, and we're on to one of our final steps here before taking off our camshaft. So as you see here, we got about 4 bolts that are going to hook up our little plate here that hold this camshaft, and we had 3 bolts that were actually on the front of the camshaft, and they were holding the gear. Now, for these 4 off this plate, you should be able to just pull this cam straight out, and that should put us in pretty decent shape here. Then we're going to have to get underneath this thing and somehow get 1 bolt from the oil pan, or the section of the area of the oil pan where we have our oil pickup tube down here. I have to get that 1 bolt out so I can pull the rest of this oil pump. So that is probably going to be rather difficult. There is a slight chance that I may be dropping the oil pan. I'm really hoping that's not the case today, but it's definitely in the cards. So we're going to be crossing fingers on this one. Now what I'm doing here is I'm actually putting this cam gear back on, and I'm thinking that by attaching this, I should have an easier time pulling my camshaft out. And it's looking like this might be the case. I've got enough room here. Come on. Now I've got it part way out. I think I've got enough room to grab on it. So, cam gear. That's looking good. Jump in here and score up any bearings or anything. I'm getting a little tight on room here. Looks like our AC condenser, which of course the camera is kind of sitting on, is getting in our way. But this cam is coming out. I'm going to be moving this condenser out of the way and yanking this baby. And then from there, I'm going to be pulling off the oil pump, and then we're going to start putting this baby back together. So, unfortunately, it looks like we had to drop the oil pan just enough to get that 1 bolt, and the bolt fell, so we might be pulling the engine up here momentarily to get this oil pan out, and then hopefully I can grab the bolt that fell down there. But in the meantime, we can work up here and put our cam in. This thing's pretty sweet. So, I'm going to move our AC condenser out of the way. Hopefully I got enough room here. I should, considering I have room to get the old one out. nice and straight with it. Actually, I'm gonna lube it up with a little bit of oil. This little oil. Fresh, clean, full synthetic. Beautiful. So now, a little lubrication on this baby. And this should slip right in. Nice and easy.
No, but if something needs to happen. Oh, yeah. And it's an
Just
easy
a thin coat ought to do it. That's gonna let this thing slide in.
Okay, normally I would say
Without
that
binding
the
up
Pontiac
on us.
GTO is a robbing pile of crap. But, like, this is the coolest thing ever. Yeah, this is the thing.
Okay.
This is like
Now,
like buy one of these in GTA.
with this,
Yeah.
it looks like we need a little more leverage on this. So we're gonna move this out of the way for a minute. Throw this guy back on. And hopefully it'll give me just enough leverage to push this in the last little bit here. And that's how we get our camshaft in. So now I'm going to pull the gear back off. We're going to reintroduce our plate. And then, more than likely, I'm going to be trying to lift this engine up a little bit to get this oil pan out. And that should be a whole lot of fun. So let's continue on. All right, I went ahead, got this baby in time. We got our dot matching our dot. So I'm going to pull this cam gear back off. I'm going to throw on the chain, and then we're going to start adding our lifters and our trays. And then we're going to go to the heads, and we're going to throw some new springs on here, and we'll get into all of that. So let's move forward. So moving right along, I threw on our camshaft cover, I threw on our camshaft gear. Camshaft cover's 18 foot-pounds, camshaft gear is 26 foot-pounds. I made sure it was in time before I slipped this all together, and then I spun the motor 3 rotations, and as you can see, our dots line up perfectly, which means we are in time and we're ready to start throwing in our lifters, our push rods, and our covers. So we're going to prep these up. We're going to get the any little bit of oil that's or air that's left in them, and we're going to pump that out, and then we're going to start dropping these in, as well as our cam covers, our lifter trays. Should be a whole lot of fun. Well, I couldn't find my tripod, so unfortunately you didn't get to see me put these trays with our lifters back in, but I primed them up by pumping them in some oil first, made sure there was no air. They've been soaking for about a week, so that went pretty well. I put them into the trays and then dropped the trays right into their spots, and yeah, tighten down our little bolts here. So now that that's good to go, we're going to be throwing some new badass springs and seals on our little valves here. So what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to flip the head over. I'm going to mark our valves so we keep our clock position. I'm hoping they just stay in place, and then I'm going to use my my tool to pull these all off and swap them out with some new ones. Should be nothing to it. Well, we're moving along here, but it was taking a really long time, and realized that this spring compressor tool just really doesn't do the trick for these monster springs we're putting in here. So I picked up a tool online, Amazon. It was around like 30-40 bucks, and it comes with a little spacer, a bracket that looks like a T that you thread a bolt upwards, and then you stick this plate on here, throw this nut, and it allows you to compress these springs and throw your keepers in really easy with less risk of them flying all over the place. So we're going to finish up doing these, and then I'm going to grab some head gaskets. We're going to come over here, we're going to throw those on, and then throw the heads and the head bolts on. So we're moving right along. Alright guys, on to the last step here. I already put the passenger side head on. I'm about ready to put the driver's side head on. It's a little difficult. They only give us one dowel pin over here in the corner, so you almost got to hold the gasket in place while you put the head on. And then you'll probably want to have a head bolt on hand and ready. Then once the head is placed on and you have it in the right spot, you can stick the head bolt in, and that will keep everything in place while you put the rest of the head bolts and whatnots on. So I'm going to make the attempt to do this here. Shouldn't be too tough. I know I left my headers there. Take this guy. I just have to let that hang down there for a sec. Pop this guy over here. This up. There's my bolt. So much for that idea. Let's get our one up here and down, grab that bolt and finish it off. But you have the gist of it. I may have to finagle this around a little bit, but next video we'll be tightening up our head bolts and throwing on our rockers, lifters. Hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm gonna keep the next one coming hopefully soon here. We'll catch you on the next one.